By passing the Crown Act today, we affirm, say it loud, Black is beautiful and so is our hair. Whether you are a student in a classroom, an employee in the workplace, or the next Supreme Court justice or the Speaker pro tem, you deserve to show up as your full self, rocking your crown with your head held high. I urge a yes vote for every person who has been asked to shrink or to apologize simply for the beautiful way with which God made them.
So Representative Ayanna Pressley with an impassioned plea for the passage of the Crown Act. And we've got good news when it comes to that. Powerful, effective, classy speech there. We have a representative giving the exact opposite, which we'll get to in just a minute or two. I do want to let you know, though, that the HR 2116, or the Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act, passed in a vote of 235 to 189. So it passed, 189 voted against it. So you might think, oh, really divisive bill, right? Really partisan bill. Well, why? What does it do? It prohibits discrimination, quote, based on the individual's hair texture or hairstyle, if that hair texture or that hairstyle is commonly associated with a particular race or national origin. Among the hairstyles mentioned in the legislation are those in which hair is tightly coiled or tightly curled, locks, cornrows, twist braids, Bantu knots, and Afros. That's it. It stops you from being able to be discriminated for having natural hair. That's it. And that is what 189 Republicans voted against in this case. And they didn't just vote against it. They did it in like the way best designed to prove how discriminatory they are, how biased, how bigoted they are. Here's Lauren Boebert.
What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Louis Gohmert, I inform the House that Mr. Gohmert will vote nay on HR 211-16, the bad hair bill.
For what purpose does the gentlelady from New Hampshire?
So it's not just that they voted against it, it's that Lauren Boebert, stay classy, calls it the bad hair bill. Remember, like she's minimizing it there, as others will, we'll get to that. But she's also opposing it. She's acting as if it's a waste of their time, but she also doesn't want it to pass. They are explicitly for people being able to be discriminated against for the hair that grows naturally out of their head, for hairstyles that are in some cases deeply tied to culture, to national origin. This is a terrible practice. For instance, in 2019, a 16-year-old African-American wrestler in New Jersey was ordered by a white referee to cut off his dreadlocks before wrestling, or else he'd have to forfeit. It affects sporting, it affects people's college careers, it gets people fired or not hired in the first place. It is a disgusting practice of discrimination that goes back as long as America has been a country and before, and 189 Republicans in 2022 still opposed it. Brett, what do you think?
American Taliban. This is essentially the equivalent in opposing the Crown Act. You're doing the equivalent of making everyone wear a headscarf in a Muslim country. Just to put it in terms you will understand. Because you are imposing your standard for how this part of someone should look on a national level. That's one part of it. The other part of it is the slippery slope argument. Republicans, when they oppose this, when they oppose discrimination reform based on gender identity, sexual orientation, they are angry and they will fight to the death for the ability to continue discriminating stuff. They are mad that they are losing things to discriminate over. It's not more complicated than that.
Yeah.
They're mad that they can't discriminate based on women's natural hair. And you know what? Like that's one thing that a lot of white people, they don't know how much stuff you have to do to conform and who has real hair and who doesn't have real hair. Based on what you have to do, they'll look around and be like, look at all these people whose hair, they're black and their hair, it works with our standard. Yeah, because they have to go through hell to get it there.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, you know that Lauren Boebert would be the first person if she went to like Jamaica or Mexico. Well, she's never gonna do that. Let's say she went to like Daytona Beach. She'd get cornrows or something just to be fun, But people should be able to be fired if that's the hairstyle that they have. Someone just raised in the chat, Jacob Rush. This is news from a day ago. Straight A student wasn't allowed to walk on stage's graduation without cutting off his locks. Straight A student. What more are they supposed to do? to conform with the BS that you want. Anyway, it wasn't just Lauren Boebert who was opposed to it. Jim Jordan accused Democrats of distracting from issues that, quote, the American people care about by bringing it to the floor, which, by the way, if you thought that's what was being done, then pass it and move on. Don't draw out the process if you think it's a distraction. By the way, you know who is included in the American people and what they care about? Black people and people who care about the Crown Act and things like that. It's so casual that they just exclude with their very language. Sheila Jackson, by the way, says the House can walk and chew gum at the same time. Black women are more likely to receive formal grooming policies, and most black men, quote, believe that they had to change, are here to be in the workplace. This is literally an economic issue, the Crown Act being passed. And just really fast in terms of the history, back in June of 2019, California made headlines for becoming the first state to outlaw racial discrimination based on natural hairstyles. At the time, we had an activist on to talk about the Crown Act. We've got a couple of videos about the topic on the channel if you want to learn more about the history of this. But a number of other states over the past 2 years have already made at a state level the Crown Act law. You can see from California in July of 2019 up to Oregon of June of last year. Others, it's pending. In some, it's been voted down because we are an incredibly bigoted country in many ways. But there has been progress on this. Hopefully, it'll be passed into law fully. Senate, Biden's signature, and all that. Final thoughts,
yeah, this is like without the Crown Act, it's basically America. It's as though we could criminalize Marjorie Taylor Greene for those roots. Like it is like saying, Marjorie Taylor Greene, yes, you dye your hair, but if I can see your roots, your horrible, like dark roots at any point, then you can't participate in Congress.
It's ridiculous.
It's an arbitrary standard imposed by norms that have been embraced over time, but shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
And the reason that they were, but like, I would love to criminalize Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think she looks horrible all the time.
I am not interested in her hair. She can do whatever she wants. Imagine though if they said I couldn't walk on stage at graduation because what's with my hair? Am I trying to invoke the military? Am I affiliating myself with some radical group because I buzz my hair so close? It makes exactly as little sense. Just let people have the hair that they want, the hair that they naturally, and if they want to change it, they can change it. If you want your hair to grow the way that it grows, you can do whatever you want. It's your hair. Nobody should be telling you what to do with it.
Right. This is an anti-freedom argument. And it's more similar to essentially like communist countries where, according to Lauren Boebert, they make you all wear the same outfit and walk the same way and do the same thing, or fundamentalist Islamic countries. So cool team you're on, dude.
Cool team. You want to be in that team? I don't think that you do.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.